America over English. Real Ethiopian, me not British, go tell them. Grrrma wheat, etegremenen. Hamarina kwanka fidel teach my children. Them teach me English, Amharic is my preference. When my heights and my black my reverence. About touching no, best man, ye me nor. See me, ye can desmond gish teeth in talk. Before the best man, ye in the own in the ube me dear. Tihun ye let in jara, chinin. Satin zare. Kai, mook, it's hot, it's hot. Lion voice, one voice, and the lion voice. Time for the lion and the lioness voices to be heard. Log in and don't log off. Lion voice, Queasy, one. Lion voice, I hit.
I will never stop, hail the Most High, and I will never stop, call Ras Tafari. Blessed love, this is Kushite representing for the Lion's Voice. We are here to tell our own story, Ras Tafari.
Yeah. I shall lift up I eyes unto the hills from whence cometh I help. I help coming from the true living eyes, Imperial Majesty Emperor Haile Selassie the first, who created Zion and earth. He shall not suffer I foot to be moved. I hold, he that keepeth Ethiopia shall neither slumber nor sleep. Well.
And then when I was 17, 18, I had like an epiphany moment with His Majesty's words being sung by Bob Marley, War, Until the Philosophy. I saw a vision of the world, I saw light, and that I just followed, wanted to stay in that light, in that warmth, and that was the time that my journey started. And so that was like the moment I was looking at a picture, I was hearing the words, and I thought to myself, this man, Bob Marley, that everybody knows all across the world, he's living his life to tell you about this man, His Imperial Majesty, and his words, they're healing me, they're making me strong. And so following that through, for a while, I didn't accept myself as Rastafari. I almost fought against it. I wanted to separate myself. I wanted to say, I disagree with Rastafari because of this, but I appreciate this. But then after a while, a number of years, I had grown so much as a man, as a young man, and understanding myself. And I come to say that if it's to be called Rastafari, it's to love His Imperial Majesty Haile Selassie and to defend him, then you can call me Rastafari all you'd like, Okay, so after the Battle of Maichu, the Ethiopian government ministers have sat down 24 ministers, and 21 of those ministers vote for their emperor to leave Ethiopia to go and speak to the League of Nations. And so the emperor, he doesn't want to do that. He has made preparations to ignore those government ministers and to move his government further south. But he's seen, being counseled by the empress, that this would be the best decision. So the emperor, against his judgment, has decided to leave Ethiopia. So he is advised and makes a decision to leave London, and he wants to visit a spa town in Britain. And this is because he's got mustard gas burns on his arms. It's causing great irritation for him and members of his party. And the city in the West Country that he goes to, Bath, this is known for its healing water. It's so-called Bath because of the hot springs in the city. And it was an important site before the Romans, but the Romans built these magnificent baths for the hot spring water. So the emperor was treated at the Mineral Hospital, and he liked it so much in Bath, and the reception and the privacy that he was afforded, he decided to make it his home. So he purchased a house called Fairfield House with his personal funds, £3,500. And so the family moved in after there was a little bit of refurbishment in the property. And then that begins that period of exile. So this is a terrible occasion when General Graziani was giving a public address, and two Ethiopians threw grenades at him, And in response, they've ordered a full-scale reprisal to happen against the Ethiopians. So in 72 hours, 30,000 Ethiopians were slaughtered. There was barely anywhere safe to go in the city. You ran for your life in that time, and it didn't matter whether you were a baby, a woman, or an old person. Any Ethiopian would become a victim in that time of what happened in the city of Addis Ababa. And the emperor, he's going into Bath, he's making friends locally, he's in dire financial circumstances. So at this time in 1936, December 1936, a huge auction happened of the emperor's silverware in London, because he's going through such difficult financial circumstances here in Britain, and he's not able to access his funds. So that's the early 1936 period. It's very difficult. It's desperate time. And he took the tabot to Ethiopia, and he built a special church just about this tabot. And this church is called Miske Hazanan Medhani Elem. So it's the consoler of the bereaved and the savior of the world church in Ethiopia. And this is where the emperor would always be. And the patriots of Ethiopia always are on May the 5th. So this is the emperor's special church about the time in exile. He even built it to look somewhat like an English church that he was seeing at the time. So a very special church to him and his family. Okay, so Sylvia Pankhurst, her mother is Emmeline Pankhurst. And Emmeline Pankhurst is really the pioneer, or one of the pioneer suffragettes. So those fighting for women's suffrage, women's rights.
Okay, I was going to ask you, what is suffrage? Because some people, we want to break it down very basic for our audience, global audience.
Mm-hmm. So it's the struggle for women to be looked at equally, to be able to vote, to be able to partake in society. And at the turn of the 20th century, it was the suffragettes who were the radical protesters of this, and even doing things like making bombs, and running on race courses and public displays of their protesting. And Emmeline was one of the leaders of the suffragette movement. And her daughter, Sylvia, in the next generation, she's also someone that is protesting openly for women's rights. But unlike her mother and her sister Christabel, Sylvia leant more towards anti-fascism and had an open mind, had stowed away to Russia to see what the communism and socialism was like, and these ideas that were emanating. And when she found out about what was happening to Ethiopia, it really took her over her life. She devoted her energy to Ethiopia. And so when the emperor arrived in 1936, she was one of those that he would have first met. And he was already aware of the work of her association in that time. So it would have been a difficult picture for the emperor. As I said, he's in this state of shock, and these parties are presenting themselves to him. But he didn't make a mistake empowering Sylvia Pankhurst, because she really was that loyal fighter for his cause. And she published a newspaper called the New Times in Ethiopia News. And for I as Ras Tafari, this is important, because this is when some of the early news of Ethiopia in the 1930s is reaching the Caribbean. This is more, we're getting factual updates on the war and the situation. And her newspaper, New Times and Ethiopia News, was made illegal anywhere in the British Empire. It was an underground document you had to have, because it was seditious material, in that time. Okay, so at Fairfield House, anyone that visits is immediately struck by, some people call it magic, Others people call it an atmosphere, a feeling, an energy flowing in the house, that His Majesty's teachings are made reality, that they feel close to the Emperor, close to his faith, close to his trod. And this is actually something to recognize and to preserve, because we've got something very unique in that people of different backgrounds, they're working together, we celebrate together, we attend each other's celebrations, we're educated by each other in the community. And so this community magic, for want of a better word, it needs to be preserved at Fairfield House. And that's an important part of the work, is the lessons from what happened to Imperial Ethiopia, and these things, and how important when you have something very special to treasure that. And the thing that holds it all together, the glue, is the Emperor's wish for the building, that it be for the elderly people, that the priority is for the elderly people, because this makes everyone who has, very strong feelings about the house and about the Emperor, this poses a decision. Are you going to listen to the Emperor? Are you going to respect his wishes? So this living legacy of the Emperor is very important for the elderly people of Bath, and all the other things that naturally will come and have to come, because the Emperor is a global figure. He's the most famous man of the 20th century, although some people don't remember it. They when they will remember it, they'll realize what Fairfield House is, and everyone will want to visit. And then the test will come, we have to protect the elderly service during the week. We have to keep developing the heritage and the narrative and connect with the younger generation to tell the story. At the moment, a large part of my work or concentration is actually still recording the history. And you can see on the House of His Majesty page an interview that I did last week with a 92-year-old man there, who still has memories of the Emperor in the 1930s from when he was a little boy. So this is our last chance to collect these memories. I've been looking at the Emperor's living legacy and his dying legacy and his reviving legacy. And so Ethiopian Airlines would be a great example of the Emperor's living legacy. Addis Ababa University, although the name has changed, is another great example of the Emperor's living legacy. Fairfield House is an example of the Emperor's living legacy. Yeah, certainly, just to support Fairfield House wholeheartedly, as Tejas Machkwezi has iterated already, and to support the Lion's Voice Network as well, because this is the sort of conversations that we need. You look at generally our media, and it's so dumbed down, and we're here talking about important critical moments in world history that shaped the world that we're living in today. So for the younger generation, this is really important to get this knowledge. And Fairfield House, as I mentioned before, we have a special living legacy of the Emperor, his gift to the city of Bath. Anyone can visit, come when we're open, when we're telling the history. You'll have a wonderful time. And you can support us from afar as well. We've got big plans at the house to protect and preserve and to grow and celebrate the Emperor's legacy in the city of Bath. So please get in contact with us, donate, follow us on our social media, and we give thanks and we look forward to welcoming you in the city of Bath.
Lion voice, tell them that's the people first choice. Lion voice, make the lioness them feel nice. Lion voice, with the lion cubs we sacrifice. Lion voice, got to show the people them the life. Lion voice.
Jano, I'm so hungry, bro. I haven't eaten all day. Like, my head started to hurt me too. Like, what more could I eat right now?
What about a city samosa? samosa, a fusion of Indian, Jamaican, and African culture. City samosas, the best samosas in the city.
Well, for unto us a son was born and a child was given, and the government shall be upon his shoulders, and his name shall be called the Wonderful Counselor, Everlasting Father, the Prince of Peace. Them call him Ras Tafari. When he was born, rain fall from the sky. Them call him Ras Tafari. When he was grown in airplanes he fly. They call him Ras Tafari. The lion break the chain, weep not, don't cry. Them call him Ras Tafari. Read the Revelation chapter 5 verse 5. Then born near the city of Harar, the inspiration for Bob Marley's guitar. People crowd him like some big superstar. It no matter if England or Cote d'Ivoire, no matter if you're brown or black like Qatar. Haile Selassie say fi end all tribal war. A time fi gather Mount Zion, fi drive solar car from the car straight to Zanzibar. Who we are, the sons of Ras Tafari. When he was born, rain fall from the sky. Ras Tafari. When he was grown in airplanes he fly. Ras Tafari. The lion break the chain, weep not, don't cry. Ras Tafari. Read the Revelation chapter 5 verse 5. Royal governor from the age of 13 years, leave the palace fi go back in a school with him peers. He's the head without fear, he's one to be revered. When them call his name, then the heathen scare. Plus the priest concerned and him teachers concerned, cause all this little youth want fi do is just learn. But he wait his turn till him turn the chas match. The people rejoice when him crown as the Ras they call him Ras Tafari. When he was born, rain fall from the sky. Then Ras Tafari. When he was grown in airplanes.
What do you have to tell the people about Ras Tafari?
Light to the world. King of kings and the conquering line of the tribe of Judah. I like himself. Where's rightful ruler? Hey yo! Yeah. Hail them high, hail the black king, born the 23rd of July. So tell them guy, who praise God up in the sky, it's a lie. The Almighty living on your night. From ancient time them a try, them Romans know them just open them suit and ties. Criminals ain't got no alibi, they stole my people, then them comes without them genocide.
Are you talking about slavery?
Them couldn't kill the lion will come conquer Judah tribe. Go through tribulation, and I strive, see sufferation, and I still rise. That's why we tell them in America, live Rastafari in every ghetto area. We come to tell them in a Toronto, straight at Greetings in that divine name of His Imperial Majesty, Emperor Haile Selassie I. Glory and honor in the name of His chosen Queen, Empress Waziri Menen. My name is Kwasi Bansu, aka the Chasmarch Kwasi, aka Ras Kwasi, aka the Reading Ras, aka the Pan-African Happy Man, creative industry attorney. I'm an author, I'm an artist, I'm an actionist, and right now I am the host of Lion Talk. Welcome to Lion Talk and welcome to the Lion Voice Network, where the lions are telling our own story. Big up all of the Lion Pride. If you subscribe, you're part of the Lion Pride. We're the fastest growing Rastafari platform on the internet. And I have to give thanks to the growing Lion Pride, the word of mouth, the ones who are liking, they're commenting, they're sharing, they're boosting the algorithm. We're doing about 1,000 new subscribers every 7 days. So, I have to big up all of the Lion Pride. Big up a Lion Pride on Patreon. We are moving toward 100, which is our goal for January 1st. However, right now, family, we are at 25, so we need 75 more Fire Angels to join us with the financial attribution. It's very important that we deal with the economic stability of the platform. Yes, I love doing the work, but to make it sustainable, it has to generate revenue so we can hire people and we can scale the production. So I just want to share how much I love, because my Lion Pride on Patreon, the 25 brethren and sisters from around the world who have seen the vision early. I can't tell you how much I love the comments, the support that these ones, So when you see it's not just I want the item to be clear. I'm just a representative of a collective of ones that says we value high production Rastafari, independent, non-aligned media for Rastafari and the Pan-African community, that we are valued, that we are worthy of having first-rate media, first-rate content creation in the name of Rastafari. So I just want to share that love I have. Tonight episode is going to be one of those episodes you better get your ital snacks. You better make sure you have some water, sip coconut water. I have my water here, courtesy of Ramia King Design. Big up yourself, Raslage. This is going to be one of those episodes. We are going into the history. I love the history and a period that is crucial, particularly for the Rastafari man. We're going to go into the low point of His Imperial Majesty trod, because one of the things is that His Majesty show us how to trod when we are down in the valley, when nothing is not going right, your lowest, everything look bleak. His Majesty show I the power of his tradition within that, confident in the victory of good over evil. So tonight is one of those nights. I might have to give that type of reason in January 1st if I don't hit my Lion Pride and Patreon goal, because I totally hide them. My goals, I'm very transparent, so when I don't hit the goals, I will tell you about failure, because failure is part of the journey. We don't fear failure. It's something that has to be confronted and overcome. So that is the way, of His Majesty. This is the trad. We love it. Big up all of the Ubuntu Lion Pride. If you have given more than $50, you are part of the Ubuntu Lion Pride. It's an excellent option for small businesses. You're hustling, whatever you're doing, you'll get your name associated with the platform. People see the name recognition is there. You support the platform, so it's a win-win scenario. That contribution price is going up in the Roman calendar New Year. It's going to go to $70, but we started it early, $50. So now is the time between now and January 1st. So between now and January 1st, we are allowing that $50 contribution. So now is the time, family, and that's a permanent remembrance when you become part of the Lion Pride, the Ubuntu Lion Pride, because it's just the goodwill that we are recognizing of ones who have given substantial attributions to the platform. And then we have to big up the ones them who probably don't have the economic strength, but guess who is the most mighty, that is driving the growth, the Action Lion Pride. You don't have $1, you still can like, comment, and share, and that is what they're doing. I see the analytics. I have to big up the Action Lion Pride, because they are the ones, word of mouth, they are the ones commenting, liking, sharing, and they, in the future, I know enough of them will become part of the Lion Pride on Patreon and help strengthen the platform. They just don't have it right now. So the $5 to $10, and it's not even that they don't have it, it's just that they're mentally not there, because everybody have $5 or $10 to contribute per month. It's just where you are within the trad and what you value. And I overstand that, trust I, because I had a gathering the other day, my local community, and the amount of people that big me up, and well more than 100 people were there that I know personally could contribute. But I don't take it personal because it's where people are in their trad. This is new. We've never had this in Rastafari before. So it's gonna take time to soak in. I don't mind being that person to step out front, because many more will rise. This is just the beginning. There are ones who came before I within Rastafari independent media. It's a tide that's sweeping Africa, but we are giving our attribution. And again, I just send love and blessings to all of the Lion Pride. Watch and peep, Lion Pride, big up yourself. The watchers, the book of Enoch tells us about the watchers. Everyone starts as a watcher. You don't comment, you don't share. You're just watching to see what in the world is this brethren talking about, and I give thanks for that. Because the watchers are the vast majority. We're doing over 25,000 views a month, some months, and majority are the watchers. So big up every watcher. Welcome to the Lion Voice Network. We're not going anywhere. We're here and we're rising. And big up the peepers. The peepers are like the watchers, where they don't do like, comment, share, none of that. But they're here with a bad intent. They're here to see whether or not we pop down. In Jamaica, we call them bad mind. In America, we call them the haters. They are part of every ecosystem because you cannot please everyone. Some people just will not like you, and we have to accept that. I choose to big them up because positivity, Rastafari vibration is positive, and they are part of the ecosystem. They will spread the word sound too. So big up every people. Although Jaja never send you figure watch and pee. We tell you that, but you're gonna do what you do, So big up yourself. So all of the Lion Pride, big up yourself. Ramia King Design, big up yourself. CMAS Life, big up yourself. This is a movement. All right, housekeeping out of the way. Now we are going into the topic. Tonight, we are talking about Fairfield House in Bath. We have a brethren who is working there representing Fairfield House and a wealth of history. This brethren came highly recommended. Big up Blaine down in Jamaica, Ethiopia Life. Big up Ethiopia Life. Other ones I know, I've heard the brethren, seen the brethren works. The brethren had a very full interview on Ija Star Network. Big up yourself, Ija Star, about the information. He's known as Ras Benji in the UK. He's coming to us straight in the midst of a storm to give I this history. Again, get your ital snacks, prepare yourself. We are going up into the high regions on the celestial tonight. All right, welcome Ras Haile, Ras Benji Haile Selassie. Big up yourself.
Yes, blessed love. What an honor to be here. To meet the eye, to just much crazy. I just want to let you know, I'm a fan of the Lion's Voice Network, long time listener, and this is a great honor. I look up to the eye as a progressive, hardworking Rastafari, family man, good example. So give thanks for your works, bro.
Give thanks for the eye works, and we're going to find out more about the eye works. I want the eye to step into the Lion Talk time machine, theoretically, and take us to where the eye was born and give us the eye journey to Rastafari.
Yes, I was born right here in the UK, in Oxford, right in the middle, south of the UK. Everybody knows because of the university. And my dad is from Trinidad, and my mum is from England. And so I've got some African, Chinese, European, indigenous Caribbean ancestry, but grown here in the UK. And yeah, when I was in my early teens, even before my teens, my parents moved to, my mum and my stepdad moved to Cornwall, which is a countryside, very as far west as you can go in the country. And so then my experience there was different to had I grown up into a city space, because I didn't see any sort of diversity. I didn't see very often things that were connected to the Caribbean that I knew in my young mind. And it created a yearning inside me, you know, for my roots to understand. And at the same time, experiencing people with closed-mindedness and racism, and sometimes just being a witness as well, you know, because people wouldn't even consider me to be connected to a certain place that they might be disrespecting, you know. So I had quite a disillusioned view, you know, a very bruised view as a young person. And then when I was 17, 18, I had like an epiphany moment with His Majesty's words being sung by Bob Marley, War, Until the Philosophy. I saw a vision of the world, I saw light, and that I just followed, you know, wanted to stay in that light, in that warmth, and that was the time that my journey started.
All right, so War, what a song. You know what I mean? That song really is one of my favorite songs of all time. And you know, leading to the speech. So what was your next? Did you know immediately that it was Bob Marley singing about His Majesty, or did you have to research, or what was that process?
No, enough, like, because knowing that I had my roots, you know, my family side from the Caribbean, Bob Marley had always been like a presence. And so I had known like the basics. And I had a picture of him and he's pointing to the emperor, you know, when he's singing. And so that was like the moment I was looking at a picture, I was hearing the words, and I thought to myself, this man, Bob Marley, that everybody knows all across the world, he's living his life to tell you about this man, His Imperial Majesty, and his words, they're healing me, you know, they're making me strong. And so following that through, you know, for a while, I didn't accept myself as Rastafari. I almost fought against it. You know, I wanted to separate myself. I wanted to say, I disagree with Rastafari because of this, but I appreciate this. But then after a while, a number of years, I had grown so much as a man, as a young man, and understanding myself. And I come to say that if it's to be called Rastafari, it's to love His Imperial Majesty Haile Selassie and to defend him, then you can call me Rastafari all you'd like, you know. So that was my journey there. And then, you know, many things from that time happened. A critical moment was in 2016. There's a book called The Emperor by Ryszard Kapuscinski, Downfall of an Autocrat. I know the reading, Ras will know the book.
I'm looking for it on my shelf right here. I don't know where I have it, but I have it here on my shelf.
So this book was made into a play, and it was first shown in the late 80s, and it was protested by the Ethiopians that were in exile, by the Rastafari community, and they actually shut down the play. And then I was living in London in 2016, and this play was suddenly being advertised as it's coming back to London's West End. And I tried to raise awareness. I tried to tell people, you know, this is happening, it's a travesty, it's full of propaganda, and it's very offensive. But in that time, in the beginning, no one was really responding. You know, it was like, felt like a long time ago, and why is he talking about this book and that sort of thing. So I thought to myself, this is a message from the Almighty that you have to do this. You know, if you are upset, So I made my placards and I stood outside the theatre for 3 weeks every night that the performance was on, protesting the play. And I was joined by Ethiopians, Ras Tafari, and we had really good dialogue with all the guests of the play. And often they would really go away educated about the emperor, almost felt ashamed that they had gone to support something like this, that Ethiopians were standing there telling them that this is literary colonialism, horrible, and, this sort of thing. And this man is telling the truth. That's what they kept saying to other people. They said, this man is telling the truth. And so it really shook people. But that was a big moment for me, because that was when I crossed that line to say, I will defend His Majesty, where I'm called. And from that attention raising, I had already been to Fairfield House many years before then and been volunteering. But I was asked to be a director of Fairfield House in 2020. And then I said to my partner, we lived in London at the time, I said, we've got to move to Bath, I need to move back to the southwest. And I achieved that. And after some time then, a job became available as the operations manager. And I stepped down as a director to become the operations manager at Fairfield House. So in a nutshell, there you go, Ras.
Well, for unto us a son was born and a child was given, and the government shall be upon his shoulders, and his name shall be called the Wonderful Counselor, Everlasting Father, the Prince of Peace. Them call him Ras Tafari. When he was born, rain fall from the sky. Them call him Ras Tafari. When he was grown, in airplanes he fly. They call him Ras Tafari. Lion break the chain, weep not, don't cry. Them call him Ras Tafari. Read your Revelation chapter 5 verse 5. Then born near the city of Harar, the inspiration for Bob Marley's guitar. People crowd him like some big superstar. It no matter if England or Cote d'Ivoire, no matter if you're brown or black like Qatar. Haile Selassie say fi end all tribal war. A time fi gather Mount Zion, fi drive solar car from the car straight to Zanzibar. Who we are, the sons of Ras Tafari. When he was born, rain fall from the sky. Ras Tafari. When he was grown, in airplanes he fly. Then Ras Tafari. The lion break the chain, weep not, don't cry. Then Ras Tafari. Read your Revelation chapter 5 verse 5. Royal governor from the age of 13 years. Leave the palace, fi go back in a school with him peers. He's the head without fear, he's one to be revered. When them call his name, then the heathen scare. Plus the priest concerned, and him teachers concerned. Cause all this little youth want fi do is just learn. But he wait his turn, till him turn the chance match. The people rejoice when him crown as the Ras they call him Ras Tafari. When he was born, rain fall from the sky. Then Ras Tafari. When he was grown, in airplanes he fly. Then Ras Tafari. The lion break the chain, weep not, don't cry. Then Ras Tafari. Read your Revelation chapter 5 verse 5. Well, Ras Makonnen call a meeting with all him general them. Say him funeral a come and him have something fi tell them. Him say, we fight together since the days of Adawa. Him say, protect my son and help him unite Africa. Well, him generals, them start cry when them hear this sound. Them say your wishes are command and bow down to the ground. When him funeral they come, it shock the whole town. Fi see this little youth, him have a army surround, they call him